He's going to whip it back and forth, and then he's going to bite it long way for some reason. That's just what he likes to do.
We're all looking forward to seeing it. Yeah.
All right, Jack.
Look at him ready to go.
I want a treat.
Yeah.
No, there's Morgan threw something out somewhere in the parking lot. He has to find it. It's just a tiny little piece of fabric with a scent on it, a certain scent. There, he found it and laid down in between his toes.
That's awesome.
That was great.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah, I saw them hand working that pack.
He's putting on a show for everybody. He is actually a long ways. That's great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Look at what I got.
He's so excited.
They can see us watching in the window. Everyone just looked at us and noticed we were. He's right here. On the way
Right on the curb.
That was so
Mhm.
You're gonna be like, I don't know where it is.
He knows where it's at.
Yeah, he's just playing with the
No
camera.
idea.
Right. Yeah.
Upwind. Yeah, it's the wind. That little girl probably had chicken nugget grease all over her fingers. That's what is on the patch now.
He just walked right past it.
Chicken nugget grease, it don't smell like it no more.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys almost missed the real show.
Well, we found it.
You guys almost missed the real show. All the punchies was back there before the pointer was just.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know.
Wings weren't cooked right.
Rebecca's doing it right now. It's like, oh my god. I know, I seen it. It's a rough anniversary. I was like, I don't want to go in there, but like, find it out. I can do that.
Okay. I didn't know. Just click his wings and can't get out again.
Oh, back in the car.
I'm taking my toy here. You can't take it away.
You guys, it doesn't really pertain to my job too much. What that does though is that helps me build a bond with the dog that allows me, when I ask him to do his job, he doesn't question me. He'll do whatever I ask him to do, pretty much without exception.
So you guys just saw Steve pull out that toy out of his pocket. He actually picked dogs that are really big on toy drive. That is their reward or their paycheck for what they do. If they listen to us and they do a good job, they get to play with their toys, they get to play with us. It's a fun, happy game.
He does a lot of goofy stuff. It really doesn't pertain to my job. But again, that's how I work with him to build a relationship that allows me to ask him to do things. Anybody want to pet him?
That's it.
If you guys have any questions at any point, just go ahead and let us know.
Los. Up. Go.
How old do they gotta be before they're actually on the road with you?
So it just kind of depends. The average age is usually anywhere from about 14 months to 2 years is when we get them. We want a little bit of maturity into them, and then it's something that we look for such specific things out of these dogs that we need to be able to test them, because we might have 5 dogs out of the same litter, and only 1 or 2 of them actually meet the standards that we're looking for.
All right. That's it.
I don't think it's really
Anybody got any questions? Yeah. most of our commands are not in English. Mostly our dogs are European breeds. So Dutch and German largely. We use other stuff, like you said, the hand sign. Especially because of me, I'm in the courthouse a lot. So obviously we can't be loud, we can't be making a lot of commotion. So I use a lot of hand signals to get him to respond to me.
What Dutch words does he know?
Pegs.
Oh, you don't want to say it.
Yes.
Okay. I know Dutch.
Very nice.
I had someone
Don't
try
tell
to
me
talk
to
to me in
sit,
Dutch,
though.
and I'm like, I only know my dog's commands in Dutch. One of the big questions is why are they in different language? Like my partner here said, we do get the dogs, most of them from overseas. But another big part is, if you guys told my dog the same command that I just said, he's not going to listen to you. But if it's in the same language, let's say that his word was sit. If you guys told him to sit, he'd probably look at you and go, who are you? You're not my boss.
Yeah.
It's just a level of distraction. By having it in a completely different language, you guys could be saying, sit, lay down, all this other stuff. He doesn't realize you're trying to talk to him, which just brings away a little bit of that distraction. Because obviously you guys are all very respectful and very nice. That is not a lot of the public we deal with. So it's nice to have that little buffer there where my dog doesn't realize I'm trying to yell at him. Ghost here is a German Shepherd. The one that you just saw me have out, Jack, he's a Belgian Malinois. So a little bit of a different breed. They look very similar. Most people can't tell them apart. The difference between a Shepherd and a Malinois, Malinois are a little bit smaller, about 10 pounds on average. They're a little more athletic and a lot higher drive on average. But both of them are excellent police dog and military dog candidates. They have the desire, they want the job. They have the build for it. They can handle both warm and cold climates, which is another huge part.
How do you know which breeds to get, like, that you guys are gonna have? Is there like certain breeds that you only get for?
So, I'll say it kind of loud for everyone. He just asked what type of breeds do we normally get and why do we pick them. The main thing is we have vendors that we go through. It's not saying there's not good dogs in the States, but over in Europe, our NASCAR or our football teams are what they do with the dog world over there.
Oh,
And so they have a lot more dogs over there. They're bred for different things than American dogs on average. And what we're looking for in these dogs is quite a few different things. We want a dog, for our team especially, that's social. Like, my dog that was just out does bite work. If a suspect runs and everything else, he can go and grab onto him, pull him down to the ground. But we also want to be able to be around people and be friendly. He can hang around my family and I don't have to worry or anything like that. So that's one of those big things, is find a dog that can turn it on and turn it off. The other thing is environmentals. We go into a lot of weird places, whether it's a dirty, nasty old apartment, climbing up ladders, all this different stuff, loud noises. So we want a dog that's very environmentally sound. And then we want the dog that has the work ethic. If our dog goes out and plays for 20 minutes and he goes, you know what, I'm good, I'm gonna go lay on the couch, that's difficult to work with. I know there's a ball out here, I need to find it. You want that type of hunt drive in a dog. You want to see a dog that, like I said, has a high toy drive, because that's how we pay these dogs for what they're doing right now. He's out here for both to have fun with his handler, as well as have that toy that he wants. And then German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois are the two most common you'll see across the board. It's just a blend of, like I was saying before, this dog can work in 90-degree weather and it can work in 0-degree weather. You get some shorter coat dogs where it gets really cold out and they can't be out in the weather as long. So that's one of the things. They have a long lineage of being bred for this type of work. Shepherds were originally bred to to guard the flocks of sheep and other animals. They're natural guard dogs. That's in their DNA. So that's another big thing. It's not taking a dog that wasn't bred for that and trying to adapt it to it. These dogs have some natural things that make them already really good at what they do there.
Anybody else want to take a picture or anything with them? Close.
Presley, when you're a guy? Dog? So her dog does the same job that Steve's dog does. Her dog also does tracking and apprehension work, so back to what we call a dual-purpose dog. Just gonna get him out of the car here and let him have a bathroom break before we put him right to work. So that's one of the big things. Anytime we get these dogs out, we always want to give them a chance to go use the bathroom and everything else.
How do you know when to retire them? Is there an age?
Yep. The average working life for these dogs is about 7 to 9 years on the job, and then after that they get retired. So at our department and most departments in the state, Jack will only ever be assigned to me unless something happened. If I quit and left the department, technically the department owns the dog, I don't get the right to take him if I decide a year into the job I don't want to do it anymore. But as long as I stay at the job, he'll only be handled by me. The dogs live with the handlers at home, so when I go home every day, he comes home with me, comes back to work with me the next day. When Jack retires, then he becomes my at-home pet. The handlers have the opportunity to adopt the dogs, and it almost always happens. And then, like I said, there's a range on the age. We won't work the dog longer than it is healthy to do so. One of the big things we find is when the dogs get a little bit older, jumping in and out of the car is the first sign you'll see where the joints, once they get a little bit older, and that starts getting to be where they want to retire. The dogs, though, I'll tell you, they hate retiring. Most dogs, like, they're so used to going to work every day, when they get left behind and dad or mom goes to work without them, they get really upset about it. They don't like it. Just like humans, a lot of times when people go into retirement themselves, they lose that sense of purpose. They need to find a different way for feeling like they're actually doing something, contributing. So yeah, like I said, the dogs hate retiring, but 7 to 9 years is about average, and then it just goes off the health and the workability of the dog.
Once he's not with you, how do you retrain him for another person?
So like I said, that's not super often that happens, but it does happen. There's a couple different things. So if you wanted to come to Kent County Sheriff's Department or any other agency and be a canine handler, there's a process there. You don't apply at the Sheriff's Department for canine handling. You apply to be a road patrol officer, just like any other sheriff deputies we see driving around. And then you have to do a amount of time on the road first. You have to be a good officer. You have to make good tactical decisions and have good references from both the coworkers and supervisors. And then a posting eventually becomes open. Whether it's one of us retiring out of the unit or something else, then you apply for it. There's going to be a fitness test. There's going to be peer evaluations from, once again, your coworkers, your superiors. There's going to be a questionnaire, which we're not expecting you to be experts in the canine world, but there's some stuff that I could ask all of you guys. If you have a brand new police dog that just got trained on bite work, is it a good idea to let them hang around with your 5-year-old and play unsupervised? Probably not the wisest decision, right? That's just common sense stuff like that. So we go through different questions like that. And then from that list of people that apply and everything else, the team gets an input if we know those people, and then they make a decision. That person becomes the next canine handler. Then we go and we select a dog for them. We're usually going to tailor it a little bit to the officer. So obviously we're all a different size. If we have a very large muscular officer, he can handle a much larger dog. If we have a smaller statured officer, we don't necessarily want a 115-pound monster that's going to, that dog will weigh about the same as Crystal over here.
My first dog was 96 pounds. It was like I had a small horse.
Yes.
My current dog is much smaller. Not much, but smaller than Eric.
So once again, we select the dog to match the handler usually. If we do have where a handler has a dog and then the handler leaves and we have repurpose the dog into a handler, we try to select a handler based on the dog you have. So every dog's different, every dog has a different personality. some will really make you work for it, where they're like, "You're my boss. Prove to me why you're my boss." And then we have some other dogs that are like, "Hey, I just want to make you guys happy." And so yeah, it's definitely a challenge. You want to make sure you get the right handler for the job, the right dog for the job, and have them be right for each other. So it's really 3 things in there. And then it's a long commitment too. Like I said, 7 to 9 years. Although it's very possible we could select this gentleman over here and say, "You're an ex-canine handler," and he might do great. Or if he doesn't, like at what point do we go, "You know what, you're meh, we're gonna take your dog away from you"? So we really want to make sure right out of the gate we get a good pick, because we want that to last the entire dog's career. All right, I'm gonna hand it over to Crystal now, her dog now. She's gonna show door popper, right?
Yep, we're going to show, so our cars are set up differently. Yes. Our cruisers are set up differently for the canine unit. So I always ask the kids, even adults, what's my favorite thing on my vest? What do you think the common answer is? Your toy. My toy. I do have a toy in my pocket. It's a new toy, so let me get that for me. Always not good to start with a new toy on a demo day. I'm feeling pissed. Not the toy. Somebody else. Somebody else is on. I heard my God. Not my favorite thing. Anything else? What? My fancy button. Favorite thing on my belt. So I'm going to show you that. I'll show you a little bit about beans, and then I will have you guys continue with me to get the guy.
Jack?
What are you doing? Alright, okay. So this is Canine Kai. He's a lot of energy all the time. He never stops moving. So something that I'll show you guys. So excited. He wants his toy so bad. Okay, come over here. So you can see he's got 2 titanium teeth. His 2 bottom ones are titanium. He's an aggressive chewer. So he wore down his teeth in his kennel when I first got him by doing this. Trying to escape. Over here. That would not be surprising. He looks like a golden tiger dog. So you can see him. Look at his titanium teeth. So don't chatter. You think he's cold? He's not cold. That's just all the excitement leaking out of his body right now. You look at me. So, just like you kids, you have to listen to your adults and parents and teachers and everybody in your life. Same thing with these dogs. They're supposed to listen too. You can see what he was doing. He was trying to steal it, right? Not supposed to. So now he also can do apprehension as well. No, I'm not worried about squirrel. If you guys want to pet Kai, we call it Vibe by Pets because he never stops moving. This is what he does.
Can I get a picture of his teeth
You can try.
without a
see
flash?
You gotta look right here. Up here. You don't ever stop.
There we go. Sweet, thank
He's
you.
like, wait a second, what am I looking at? I just looked at the toy. Come on, say hi. So like I said,
Once again, if you guys have any ones, just yell them out.
right there. Yeah. Nice have questions.
Quarter of the time.
I think he's going inside. Are you going to stay out here? Going
Woke up
inside?
at 9:30.
Huh?
Woke up at 9:30.
Oh.
Probably get up this.
Hey, that Goose over here, he works inside of our
Yeah,
jail.
wait, stay. Okay, there now. This is the worst part about his job. He's kind of soft. He's a little coarse, so he's a German Shepherd Belgian Malinois mix. So he's got more of the fur of a Malinois, which is a little more coarse than the Shepherd, but he's got the coloring of a Shepherd. So if you look at his skin tone, his eyes, he's got very big eyes like a Malinois, and he's got a very narrow snout like a Malinois. The Shepherds typically have bigger frames. I call him Meatball. That's his nickname because he's all muscle. So if you look at his front chest and his legs, he's a lot stronger than, remember I said I had a 96-pound Shepherd? He's only 76 pounds and I think he's stronger than my first Shepherd. Because he's like all
We
muscle.
did have a dog on our team previously. The question was, we have any dogs that smell what we call arson detection. We did have one on our team until recently retired. John was his dad is suspicious of fire at like a house or a business. The dog would go out and would actually smell pretty mostly petroleum based products. So if the dog alerted to an area on that fire, they'd collect a sample and send it off to the lab. And the lab would be able to say if there's accelerant used on that fire, which would then aid the investigation into saying that this was probably not accidental. If there's gas that poured down the side of a house and it lit on fire, that was probably an intentional arson versus just accidental. So, like I said, we did have one arson detector dog on our team that just retired probably about 3 months ago. And then, as of right now, we're not going to add another one onto our team, just because Michigan State Police has their own team, and they're responsible for most of the arson investigation.
I always have to ask. You can come stand right here. Kai. Yep, you can be close. Yep. Last one I was over straight. Over here.
Was he out before we got here?
Yeah.
You guys want to say hi to him?
They have some information on Kai.
You can go up and say hi. He's not super huge on being fat, but he'll let you say hi to him.
Right.
Yeah, you like all the dogs. We're not getting no more.
So what he has on right here, this is what we call one of our tracking and patrol harnesses. We have a couple different styles. This one right here is actually bulletproof and stab proof. So it offers a layer of protection to them. It is a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier than some of our lightweight ones. So it's semi what we call mission dependent. If it's real, like I said, most people, if they saw him, they just think he's a German Shepherd with something else maybe. They're their own breed. Kai over there is actually half and half. That is a Belgian Malinois German Shepherd cross right there. But Malinois tend to be, like I said, a little higher energy, a little higher drive, a little more compact frame overall. So he weighs just over 70 pounds.
About the size of Kai.
Yep, very similar size.
All boys.
This is fun. At any particular time, so in Kent County will have one dog on the road at almost all times, and that's for the entire county for our department. In addition to our department, Grand Rapids Police Department has canines. They usually have 1 to 2 all the time. Kentwood Police Department just added one dog to their team or to their department, so they'll have basically a dog on a quarter of the time. And then Wyoming has a couple dogs also. So at any particular time in the county, there's several working. The majority are going to have prevention type of work. As far as explosives go, Grand Rapids has a couple of explosive detection dogs. We have R2, and then MSP also has a couple. However, MSP does not have any that are permanently assigned to Kent County. So, yeah, basically there's always a couple on the road. For our team, we have 4 dogs that are permanently assigned to road patrol. So like my job, Jack comes with me. If there's any dog-related call during my shift, I go to that. If I'm not on that, I'm like any other deputy out here. We go to any call for service, do traffic stops, everything else. So it becomes just more like a secondary role for me for canine. Crystal's in our community policing department, so she is assigned a particular area. She works with those townships for any issues that the township has and kind of acts as a liaison. In addition to that, then her dog's in explosive detection and tracking. So once again, if we have someone goes missing or we have a criminal that takes off running, she can get called out for that. Or if they have a school bomb threat, she'll go and sniff the whole entire school. As well as if we have, like when we had Trump and any presidents coming into town, that's when they get really busy. We'll have to go in, clear the area. If we have a high-profile court case, that's where Steve gets called in a lot, where they want him to come in and sweep the entire, we call it sweep, but it's going through and having the dog sniff everything. So go through and sweep the courthouse every morning to see if anyone put out anything suspicious. So it's kind of a twofold thing. One of the things that the explosive guys constantly have to remind people is their dogs find suspicious things, but they don't check what it is at that point. So if there's a random cooler sitting out next to the courthouse and Steve's dog goes over to alerts in that cooler, Steve's like, we're done, calling the bomb squad.
If
Steve,
it's suspicious to you, it's suspicious to me.
Yep.
My dog is a location control, not an identification. That's why we have robots. Right, guys? We
Yep.
would like to find them for people, but not get so close that we're going to blow us up. That would be a bad day.
So yeah, like I said, we have 4 of us working the road, all narcotics and tracking. Have her in our community policing office, which is explosives and tracking. Steve is permanently assigned to our courthouse. His dog does, it's a single purpose explosive detection. And then we have 3 that are in our jail that do narcotics detection in the jail. Like I said, if anyone tries to sneak anything in or anything like that. And then we have one other dog, which is Steve inside. His German Shorter Pointer is actually on our drug team. So if they go out and do search warrants in a house, the dog can find drugs hidden in the house. And that's pretty much our team right now. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. It's definitely a fun job, but it is more work than I ever would have thought. My best friend before I got on the team was a canine handler. I've always been interested. I thought I had a good idea of what it is. It is so much more because it's dog psychology. You can't tell them what you want. You have to teach them how to do it. And then the other thing too is they are so smart they realize your bad habits before you have them, and they exploit them. Like, I'll tell him to do something, and he knows in a setting like this, he can get away with more because I'm not going to yell at him as loudly in front of everybody here as I would in a closed door. So he's like, I know I can kind of sneak around a little bit right now. Kind of like, I'm sure if you guys have kids do the same stuff. But the biggest thing about dog training is consistency. If you tell your dog to sit, you better sit. If you tell him to lay down, you better lay down. There's never, that's good enough. If it's good enough once, the dog thinks it's good enough every single time. I know, you don't want to be biting just while you're toy. is some English, is he can do almost everything off hand signals. Dogs, if you look at their language, they go off movement first, touch second, and vocalization last. Humans are the opposite. The first thing we do is, I talk to you. That's, verbalization. Next thing I do, if I get really mad, I might start doing some arm movements. And the last thing that happens is physical touch. When we get really mad, blows start happening. Dogs, the first thing they do is, like I said, it's going to be movement. You see a dog wants to play, starts doing play bows, and jumping around. The next thing they do is they kind of go up and they touch each other like this. And the last thing usually is the barking. So for dogs, they actually watch what we do. So like hand movements, that's sit. I never taught them that. That's down. I never taught them that. Down, sit, and then.
For training, I went to a 2-week amputation course because I was already an amputee. So my first job was to wait for
once again, I never taught him all those hand movements. He just picked up on it. That's because I subconsciously was doing that. If I told him to sit, I guess I always just kind of did that. If I told him to lay down, it's always lay down. So, and he just picked up on it. And he actually, to some extent, listens better to those than he does to actual words. It becomes more natural to him.
I mean, the training and how soccer starts out and what we ask for yes, I know you have toys in there. I know. Thank you.
This toy's a little bit too big for this.
I get it.
Sit.
And then another question that we get pretty often is, can all the dogs be around each other? They can be around each other like this, but every dog we get is an alpha. They kind of think they're the biggest, fattest in the room. And when you put a bunch of alphas together, sometimes we try to figure out who's the most alpha. So we don't let the dogs directly interact. Some dogs. Jack. Close. Close. That is his favorite thing to do, is just shake it like crazy. Loves to shake it and then bite it the long ways. I don't know why, it's what he's always done. Here. So his word is free, is what is like allowing him to bite this. So every now and then we kind of mess with him, like French fries, Friday, freedom.
Oh my god, we're eating like shit.
Close. Free. Good. Close. Free. You guys want your picture with them? They have a bunch of suspects that aren't scared of us. But the dog comes out, they don't mess with us.
Show off.
So, yeah, the judges sometimes, they have a really nice guy to listen to with. And so, early on, I think we call it untenable tracks, that if this has been going the amount of time where that guy's been going, something's happened, it's been 2 hours, a brand new dog, unless that guy's been going to feed a dog a car, it's going to be good. But I've seen it, you know, and
Yes.
There's something over there he keeps stepping on.
Yeah, come here. Here's a good boy. He would not come near anybody. He wants to work. He doesn't want to be around people. Right. There you go. There you go. This is a brand new toy that he just got, so he's super, super excited about it.
Let it go.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Not really. He just would not come near you guys if I didn't put leash on. He doesn't necessarily like being touched, but he will get. He has to for his job. So he gets forced. Usually, what we call it is drive-by pets. But he's been out here a lot today, so he's kind of slowing down a little bit, not much. But typically, he doesn't stop moving. So he'll usually do circles around me, and then when he comes by, I tell kids especially, drive-by pets. And they get that much, and then he moves on to the next, and then we'll do another circle, and then I have to try to bring him back a notch because I missed 2 people. So that's kind of how we do it, just a constant like circle down the line. But when he's sitting here like this, you guys can come up and pet him if you want. If he's stopping on his own accord, I'm okay with it. If somebody is forcing him to stop, that's a different story. I've had people try to do that, and he definitely is not that type of dog. But this is just it's the drive that they have. So we need dogs that have high drives, meaning that if we want these dogs to be on all the time, we don't ever want them to just. They have to decompress, which we expect them to do. But anytime that they're with me in my patrol uniform or in the patrol car, I want them to be ready to go and ready to go for anything. So they have to have that, and then also with the searching, they have to be able to search and continuously search for as long as they have to. So I can give him a command at home in our backyard. We have about 3 acres, and I can say, find it. And he will be out there. I won't throw anything out there. I'll just make him search. And then at the very end, I'll give him like 20 minutes. I'm like, haha, you found it. Yeah, good boy. Because he'll find it so fast if they just have it out there. But we have to work these dogs, not just physically, we have to work them mentally too. So when they're doing all the games, we call them games, but all the things that they're trained in, he gets rewarded with the toy that he saw, or all the other toys that he has in my cruiser. But all those are for him, and that's his paycheck. So he wants to do all these things and all these activities because that's what's fun to him. So as soon as he knows that he gets to do something, he gets all sorts of excited like you saw. Because he doesn't just get things to get him. So, correct. He gets treats when he comes inside. So that's something I started with my first dog. My first dog didn't like coming inside. It's a big snot. This dog doesn't mind it, but I just kept it going for my first patrol dog. But he doesn't have anything in his kennel, so he doesn't get a toy in his kennel. He doesn't get a toy in his cruiser. Yeah, I know. Snot out of it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm locking the car. Let him down. Oh, man, such a letdown. Such a letdown. I know, I'm sorry.
Males over females.
Yep, so typically in the police world, majority of the dogs, have a great day guys, are males. We get all our dogs from Europe. Yep, so they have good bloodlines over there for working dogs. So you think about like football here in America, you're not going to get it by doing that. I'll tell you that much. We had a dog in the jail that would bite the pocket, and he ripped the pocket off our deputy's pants because he would do the same thing, but he would rip them off. You're not getting that. So a lot of times I don't even carry toys on me because of this attitude. Or I'll tuck them in up here in my vest so you can't see them. And I can't train him new tricks with toys in my hands because he'll just snap them.
Now, what is his job?
So he's a bomb dog. So he finds explosives, but he also does tracking, apprehensions, building searches, and article searches. But back to your female question, a lot of the females, they'll do the breeding. So they'll be used to breed the dog, and then there's the ones that do get pushed out that make really, really good patrol dogs, but they usually go to the military. because they are easy to train. They're very competitive, and they don't give up. They have that kind of mom bear fight, and they're awesome control dogs. There's a lot of our male dogs, they're meatheads. A lot of them don't think clearly, and they have dominance issues. But they make great patrol dogs, don't they? Yeah, you do. But then there's things that make me twitch because it's just never ending, never stops. Moreover, we make it. He barks all the time in his kennel. He's very much a mama's boy, so he's got to have a place that he can rest, which is in our basement. He's got his own room. We have a fenced area here for him, and that's his space. Because if I let him in the house, all he would do is search. He would never stop searching, and he doesn't know how to turn that off because it's a house. So he's like, I gotta find people who are explosive, one or the other, mom. So he has to be able to decompress. It takes him a very long time. Also, because he'll spit on the end, and then he'll like army crawl up to me, and then he'll muzzle punch me. And then it will be game on, and then he'll be like, Mom, what are we doing? And it'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
So usually he gets grounded and put back in the car. And then I'm like, all right, you gonna sleep now? And I think last year he slept, it took him 3 days. He didn't sleep for 3 days.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, you have to be tired, dog. And then finally he just like got on the bed and it was like 5 o'clock, I was going to dinner, and he just collapsed. And I was like, get up. Get up. You are not falling asleep at 5 o'clock. You're going to wait until I get back, and then you can go to sleep. Like it's like a child. You know, they take a nap too early. They're not going to sleep at night. And he's very much that. He's very much a toddler.
Have you picked it up?
We go out and pick our dogs, but with this one, we test about 5 of them when we go out to kennels. So my first dog that I got, we looked at 3 different dogs, and we were able to pick a dog out of 3. This one, they knew that I had already been a handler before. They knew we were looking for a dual-purpose bomb dog. They had already imprinted him on explosives, so they already were like, you know what? We have a dog. We think you're really gonna like this dog. We have other dogs, but we're gonna test this dog first, and let us know what you think. And he came out, and he blew our minds. He did great. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to see another one. Like what he's doing now, my first dog wouldn't do. My first dog wouldn't lean into me. My first dog didn't want my attention. He was definitely not a mama's boy. I mean, he was, but he didn't need the affection. He was like a 16-year-old boy that was ashamed, like embarrassed of his mom. That's how I describe my first dog. This dog is very much like, Mom, 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 Mom. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So complete opposites. But once we tested him, just to have him, like, we go on a walk just to see how the handler and the dog will mesh. And when we got done with the walk, he leaned into me and just kind of stood there and kept eye over everything. And I was like, huh. I was like, all right, you did really good at testing. I'll take you. And then he came home. It's now crazy. So he's got a couple different things. So this flat collar is just his collar that he wears all the time. So this one he wears 24/7, and I have this on him. So like at home, I don't put any other collars on him at home. We got 4 acres all together, and he knows his boundaries. He doesn't chase animals. Very good recall. Found a possum the other day. That was fun. He thought that was really cool. He started pouncing around it, and I was like, no, you know, left it alone once I realized what was going on. But he wears this one all the time, just in case I have to grab him, because I can pick him up, I can do things. This one,
What are you doing?
yeah, he's like, why are you doing this? This one is more of Mom Means Business collar. So this is his prong collar. Even just a slight tap like that, they're like, oh, nope, I won't do it. Because if he's on his flat collar, he'll want to drag, he'll want to go do his own thing. Kind of takes the wheels off. This one, he's like, I'm grounded. I have to stay next to Mom. This one is his e-collar. This is more of a communication collar. So because we do a lot of things off-leash in the police world, so a lot of our searches are off-leash, this is just kind of our safety net. So if they do get too far away or they go out of sight or something like that when we're doing searches, we have that on there just so that they know that we're still attached to them somehow. So it's not a physical leash, it's an invisible leash that we have with our dogs. And that's more, like I said, for emergencies and stuff like that. But he doesn't wear any of the other ones. He just wears a flat collar all the time at home. He does have a tracking harness.
So he'll wear that when we're doing any aggression stuff, building searches or tracking, and he has a bulletproof stab-proof vest as well. Yep.
Yeah.